we've come to know that sleep is one of the most important things that we'll ever do
Mm,
in our lives. We still don't fully understand the why of sleep, but we also know that it's basically like the Heathrow airport of behaviors. Everything passes through Heathrow at some point. And similarly, everything passes through sleep. Every
mm,
physiological, psychological, immunological function and
mhm,
more passes through sleep. It's the single most important behavior. And one of the things that we know also is that phones tend to be activating, and they disconnect. And when we
mm,
disconnect from sleep, we furthermore disconnect from ourselves. We definitely do. I mean,
mm.
think about when you haven't slept well. What are you thinking all day? Well, you may be able to carry out your tasks, but you feel like crap while you're doing it, and
Yeah.
much of the energy goes inward because it's like, oh my gosh. And sometimes we beat up on ourselves, try to all get it right. But we
Mm,
also experience FOMO when we look at those phones. Oh my gosh, I feel so left out. That's not a good thing to
mm,
do. And then in the relationship field, a third is any
mhm,
individual or entity that wedges its way into a primary romantic relationship. In
mm,
many cases, thirds are work, but sometimes they are
mm,
family members, sometimes they are phones. It's
mm,
anything that interferes with the co regulation or the connection between a couple.
mm.
And phones have become the most ubiquitous thirds.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm talking to you, oh, hey, man, good to see you. What's up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole thing with the
Oh, wow.
phone.
Painful.
And I remember, when I was at my postdoc, I remember when, somebody was texting while talking to me. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this person's going to become a psychologist someday.
Oh,
And I very gently said, hey, would it be cool if we just talked without like the texting going on? And she thanked me.
oh.
She was far more self-aware than I gave her credit for. And I've done it too. I mean, very few of us on the planet are immune
Mm,
to the call of the siren known as a blue light on our phone. It's very attractive, but the blue
yeah.
light also, we also know, activates us and tells us that it's time to be awake. So back to your question about sleep, it even it causes us to think that melatonin it ceases melatonin production.
Mhm.
So it tells us it's time to be awake. So I am guilty, by the way. I am
Yeah.
so guilty. For years I was
Mm.
watching Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones in bed because of FOMO. Also, I wanted to be
Yeah.
able to be a part of the conversation, and so I'd watch it in bed and my sleep would be crap. And it took a very long time for
Yeah.
me to go to the idea of, you know what, I'm going to listen to what the sleep experts say. I'm
Mm.
going to not do that, with very few exceptions. Do I? I don't watch content in bed. I still will sometimes be reading something on my phone before bed, and that's something I'm working on as well. Um, but so I want people to know I am
Yeah.
by no means beyond reproach as it relates to my own attracted nature to this blue light.
Which is so natural. I really appreciate you saying that because sometimes people think like, a psychologist or someone who teaches meditation, their life is perfect and there's no hiccups. They got everything figured out. All the ducks are in a row. And it's like, no, I mean, we got stuff. We got to work on stuff. We got to recognize, ooh, I'm off balance here, or I'm overdoing this, or oh, I'm doing too much technology at night. But what I love is the humility that I really feel from you from the moment we started talking is this awareness, or here's how it is, and just being real with it. Like, ooh, I need to do less of this, more of this. I need to do less phone. Um,
Absolutely, and just to your
yeah,
point,
yeah.
I will die a work in progress. um, I mean, similarly, Leonardo da Vinci once said about art, and I felt this about my book, that art is never finished, only abandoned. And I know
Mm,
that if I'm doing this right in this lifetime, I will die with many unfinished projects as they relate to my own personal growth.
yeah.
But I'm always hitting it. I'm always trying to kind of do what Reb Nachman of Breslev once said. He said, what's the purpose of a new year if you're not planning on doing something, with that time?
Hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I hope you find this content useful, and if you do, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It will really help me to reach to more people and keep this content going. Here we are journeying together, and let's see where this takes us.